When you build a brand on one topic, as soon as you throw your name specifically on something in that niche, it converts like crazy.
This is Austin Armstrong. He made $1.2 million as a creator in 2023. With the business owner first, creator second mindset, Austin has been creating on social media since the MySpace days, but has found amazing success with vertical video, amassing over 3 million followers across multiple social networks. His videos focus on giving you helpful websites and AI tools, have resulted in an incredibly passive and active income streams that all creators should be aiming for. In this video, we're going to be discussing his path from marketing agency to useful website content, his unique YouTuber journey, what he really thinks about YouTube Shorts, and how he is navigating it. Deep dives into his repeatable process for growth and a money-making mistake that we can all learn from. Austin's topic-focused brand building and diversifying strategy will feel illegal for you to know, but profitable for you in the end. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar. Welcome to the podcast, Austin. I'm excited to share your very unique creator journey with our followers.
Thank you so much for having me, Desiree. Always a lovely time chatting with you.
How did you get started with creating on YouTube?
Well, I have been a content creator for more than half of my life now. I started doing social media marketing about 19 years ago, back on MySpace. And so I've seen all of these platforms come and go even before YouTube rolled out. When YouTube first came out, I still have my original account. It's a hot sauce channel. But that account originally was like 2006. I set that up. So really early in the YouTube era, like year one or I guess 2005 I started, something like that. So I had, posted random videos on there. My content creator video marketing journey really started about 10 years ago when I moved to California and I took an internship at a video marketing company that specialized in the behavioral health space. So we did YouTube for therapists, drug and alcohol treatment centers, clinical psychologists, various professionals in the behavioral health space, an account called Therapy Cable at the time. And it was really cool to work with that demographic and create content based on the expertise in their head. And I've pretty much been creating content on YouTube ever since. It's formed into, I've grown multiple companies now off the back of it, and it's supported my content journey and content creation journey and entrepreneurship journey quite a lot.
Share with us, what do you create now on YouTube and in general?
The bulk of my content is sharing useful websites for business owners, and even more specifically, useful AI-powered websites for business owners to help with their marketing, help with their productivity, integrate AI tools into their businesses.
The thing I find the most fascinating about your YouTube channel and the content that you share is that you talk about websites and stuff for small business owners, but like a big part of like how you've grown as a creator and through your income has been through your agency work. So how did you go from agency work to like AI and helpful websites?
I started creating content for my business on TikTok. It all really started on TikTok, and I just found short form content was the format that worked with me. I love long form content, love everything that comes with that, but short form was just easier for me to consistently crank out quality educational content. And so when I was creating content, I was doing tutorials on how to do specific things for SEO, showing how to incorporate video into SEO strategies, client case studies, and examples. And I started playing around with just like sharing useful websites that can do fun things or that can work in your marketing practice. And I was doing that really early on. It wasn't a core content strategy piece. It was just in between the regular content. Here's a website that can help you with your marketing. And those videos consistently performed pretty well. And so the idea that eventually came to me is a funnel, top-down funnel approach. So at the top of the funnel is the broad awareness oriented content. At its broadest, what are the broadest level of videos that I could create that are still interesting to business owners and entrepreneurs? And it wasn't deep dive tutorials. It was useful websites, super broad. That was the top of the funnel approach. That those videos went viral over and over again and performed exceptionally well, grew my follower count a lot, and would bring people in. So then they see my sort of middle awareness oriented stage and consideration oriented stage of the funnel to build trust and rapport, deep dive tutorials, actionable takeaways and whatnot, and then call to action content down there. But I got a little focused on the growth metrics. I like the vanity metrics and the follower counts and the numbers. So I continued to share a lot of those useful websites, and it continued to translate into clients for my agency. And then I really continued down this path because it turned into an affiliate marketing play. So a lot of the useful websites that I share, I'm an affiliate for. Sign up and I promote their website, and I make it easy for viewers to use my affiliate link for those websites to sign up. And then I got to a point where I was like, well, I'm getting 20, 30, maybe 40% commissions on the websites that I'm promoting, and that's doing really well. What if I start my own SaaS product where I own 100% or get, far more percentage of the profits? I know how to market useful websites. I know how to market SaaS tools. Why not own the SaaS tool and grow my own company that way? So that's kind of the evolution of how I got started with the useful website videos.
When did the bridge from TikTok to YouTube happen, and why?
So as soon as YouTube Shorts rolled out, I was dumping everything from TikTok over to YouTube. Anytime a platform releases a new feature, I like to test it out because they typically push it a little bit. It really wasn't working. I actually had posted like 600 shorts, and I don't think maybe 2 or 3 had gotten over 10,000 views, which, depending on who's listening, sounds great, but in the grand scheme of things is not that great for shorts viewership. And it took my TikTok channel getting deleted. It was then restored. That's a whole different story there with my ongoing.
We'll talk about it.
The majority of my audience was on TikTok. And so, when that first happened, I was like, whoa, I don't control this audience. I don't control this platform. I need to diversify, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. TikTok was my primary lead gen source for my business. And when that happened, I said, okay, I have to figure out these other platforms that are supporting short form content, because I need to diversify where my leads are coming in from. And then someone we both know, but Jeremy Vest, I started chatting with Jeremy every single day. And we were like, we are going to figure out YouTube Shorts together. We would test experiments and motivate each other and send videos to one another, viral shorts and stuff. And it got to a point where I was like, well, maybe not focus on dumping everything onto YouTube. Focus on only uploading my most viral videos, which were the useful website videos. And even more specifically, there's a subset style where kind of the talking to yourself style of videos where I film on sideways of me talking to myself in a different outfit and a little bit of a shtick there. And that was new, that was fresh. Nobody had done that at the time in the useful website area. And as soon as I pivoted specifically to that, every single video that I uploaded was 5 useful websites in that format. It exploded. It clicked. The YouTube algorithm knew what audience to put it in front of. And so I went from, it's a pretty crazy story. It took me 3 years on YouTube to get to 5,000 subscribers. And then in 3 days, it went from 5,000 to 100,000 subscribers. And another crazy fact about that I love to say is that because of the timeline process for monetization versus getting your plaque, for 100,000 subscribers, my channel was not monetized at the time. So I actually got my silver play button for hitting 100,000 subscribers before my channel was even monetized for the 4,000 hours of watch time. Yeah, which is crazy, and it's still growing. So I've hit a little bit of a lull now, but it's at 560,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they've 99% of that has come from YouTube Shorts.
Do you create long form content in addition to your short form content? And what's your strategy with that, and how do they support each other?
I do. I'm far more inconsistent with my long form than I am my short form, because short form, I just have more reps in. I've created over 3,000 now short videos. I just have the system down. I can pull out my phone. I can make a video that I know is going to perform well and hits all the best practices in less than 20 minutes. Whereas long form, I have to do all the prep work and then have another video editor. Turnaround time on that can be a week for a really quality edit. And like I do everything myself on my phone, and I repurpose, and the whole thing takes me no time at all. But the long form content is, of course, similar in nature to the short form content. So it's longer, deeper dive tutorials into useful AI websites. Because I don't want to split the audience. If I, only talked about like I don't know, SEO tutorials, but then all of my shorts are on useful websites, the audience doesn't necessarily mesh. And so now there's a lot of features that YouTube has to sort of cross benefit each other, like related video. So on every YouTube short that I upload, I can tag a related video that shares other useful websites. And so it's a clickable link from the short to the long form video that drives viewership and subscribers and ad dollars, revenue share that way.
The world of long form video and short form video on YouTube is like such a mess. Like there are so many creators who are like avidly against shorts. They're like, if you're going to do shorts, create your whole new channel. There are some people out there that are like, shorts aren't even worth it. Like, it's not like a whole thing. Like, that's not going to give you valuable people to follow or the people that you want to get from you and build a community around. And then there's also people that are like, I mean, do them both. Like, as long as like they're related content, kind of like what you're doing. But where do you sit? Like, what is your observation as a shorts creator and a long form creator as to like the state of it and how do they work together?
Yeah, it is very much a mess. I have a limiting self-belief on my ability to create long-form content because I have never really had a long-form video take off as much as I have short-form content. And then you get into the weeds of like, is it because all my short-form content is driving the viewership duration down on my long-form content? Or no, is it because I just suck at creating long-form content and people don't care what I have to say for more than 60 seconds?
What do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of both. I think I suck at long form because I don't do it consistently. Because I haven't had those like big dopamine hits of success like I have with short form. Like I get, almost like twice a month, I get a 1 million view video on short form content. And so that keeps me extremely motivated to keep going. Long form is a grind. Long form is hard. It's hard to be a long form content creator. I see no issue in combining, and we run a lot of accounts in a lot of different industries. So based on my personal anecdotal evidence, I don't see there's any issue with having a channel that has both long form content and short form content. I just kind of suck at long form personally, but I do combine both on my channel.
That's a great segue into like what I want to evolve our conversation to, which is that you do content creation and specifically YouTube management for other brands and businesses. So your perspective is super unique because unlike other creators that we've had on the podcast where like they're just full-time creators, they maybe consult with other people and stuff and they're talking to other people who like want to be full-time creators. You actually work with regular normal business owners, the ones that anyone can need in any small town in America, right?
Yep.
Walk us through one, why you dove into that, but two, like what was the journey to that? Like how do you get him to do it? All of the things. Like I'm dying to know this.
I mean, I definitely was a content creator first, and I've been doing it for 19 years. I love creating content, but I kind of fell. So I had a large following on MySpace, and so I'm going to this is going to be a dragged out thing that'll siphon back into the answer to the question. But
Okay.
I had hundreds of thousands of followers on MySpace when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. And so I think that really left a long-term impression on me. You can get into like, prefrontal cortex developmental growth. And you're very impressionable when you're that age, right? Because you're still learning and adapting. And so I was always kind of still chasing that. And so at the time, like because it was so early, I didn't realize that was a job. I didn't realize that I could be a content creator for the rest of my life because I was so early. So I had to take jobs. I didn't see a path to being like a YouTuber, for instance, early on. Like it didn't really click until later on. And so I stumbled into an agency that I mentioned earlier, the behavioral health YouTube agency. And that's how I got started. That was very much an agency space. I loved working with that population. My sister's in recovery, so I loved learning from other professionals, what goes into helping somebody that's in recovery, and the information in their head is life-saving. information, and service-based business owners have all of this information and education that they can create content around. And so we really like focused in on that and did the whole search thing, which I still do today. It's been a core philosophy of how we create content on every platform is create videos with small business owners and service-based business owners around the questions that their customers are searching for online. YouTube is the second most popular search engine. TikTok is being used as a search engine now. When you create content that answers specific questions, you reach specific people. And I loved that path was so consistently repeatable, that just find the questions, use, SEO keyword research tools or any research tool out there, find the questions, create well-structured content around it in a blog article, in a video, now in a short, and it just has worked for 10 years in a row now. And it's evolved with all of the platforms. So I did that for 5 years and then started my own agency 5 years ago, basically doing the same thing, spreading it out from just working with behavioral health to working with all service-based business owners, because it's what I knew. It was my professional career journey. And as soon as I started that agency, Socialty Pro, I wanted to be different from other agencies out there. I wanted to practice what I preach. And so having, had all of those reps of helping other content creator or other business owners create content and having an interest of being that face again and getting back to having all of those followers online, because I like the recognition. If I'm just being honest with myself, I think content creators have to be a little healthy narcissistic traits there. I think that's a conversation for another day.
It's kind of like being a pilot. You got to have a little bit of cockiness in order to like man that boat, man that ship, or man
100%.
that plane.
Yeah, and so that's how it started. I was always comfortable on camera, so I just created content around the expertise that I knew and used that as a way to generate leads for my business. And then it just stacked and snowballed into various sources of revenue that I'm able to create from content. But yeah, that's how I got into that, and that really led to my newest company, Syllabi. We took what I've learned as working in the agency space for the last 10 years and streamlined the whole thing with AI and software.
So, how are you able to replicate your success for your customers? Is it by giving them the same formula and doing that work for them, or and how are they getting leads and income from that?
Yeah, so it's a very proven, repeatable process. So as an agency, we would have an onboarding call with them to find out all the emotional pain points that why a customer would come to them, all of the features or services that they offer, any sort of competitors that are performing well online, and then do our research and find all of the questions that people are searching for. We develop a big content strategy, and we typically would break it down into like 4 different pillars of content. It could be service 1, service 2, service 3, frequently asked questions, behind the scenes, competitor or top performing videos that we could recreate with our own unique voice or whatnot. And then depending where the client is, we actually have a video production team in Orange County, California. So we would send somebody out to actually record the content, and or we coach them on Zoom or in person of the best ways to create the content. So making it always about the viewer and never about you. So cut out those intros. Like the blunt, honest truth is nobody gives a crap who you are. They just care about the value that they're going to take away from that video that they just swiped onto or clicked that thumbnail for, because they are interested in that subject matter and the value that they're going to get away from. And so that's one of the biggest secrets, is just give your best information away for free, and apply a strategy of what are my customers searching for? What are the emotional triggers that they're dealing with? Creating content that flows and answers and addresses all of that, and then making it just really easy to contact them. On YouTube, for instance, just that first line in the description, need help with X, Y, and Z topics, schedule a free call with me now, and let's get to the bottom of it. Or here's my phone number, or here's a link tree with a couple of options to break down meet people where they're at. Like in the behavioral health space, for instance, I've worked a lot in the drug and alcohol treatment space. The types of leads that come in are people are in all different headspaces. So like you're literally creating a video that reaches somebody that's in an active meth psychosis. And so they're probably not in a state to pick up that phone call and chat with somebody on the phone, but they might be able to live chat. They might feel comfortable texting somebody or doing a live chat or filling out a form or getting, downloading an ebook, and then getting in an email pipeline. And so there's all different ways to capture leads, and you can ABC test all of those lead forms, but also just make it easy for the customer to reach out to you how they feel comfortable to reach out to you. Because it's, it switches the conversation from, do I want to make a phone call or do I not want to make a phone call, to, well, what's the easiest way for me to reach out? Maybe it's shooting them an email. Maybe it's a live chat. Maybe it's a form fill. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's a Zoom call. Maybe it's a Calendly schedule event. All of those different ways to connect leads. And so we just have done that over and over and over again.
I think that's important. So unlike a lot of other podcasts where we dive a lot into the money, I felt like it was really important with Austin to get like context around what he did and what his journey was, because it's like one situation and rolled into another situation, all because they all were the thing that he was comfortable doing, but also because of like the finances that were attached to each one of these parts. Going and getting a job with somebody is because you need to get a paycheck. You're trying to figure out how to make it work, and then you realize, oh, I can do this, and then translating it into, oh, I can do it myself. Well, you know what? I can see that the world is turning towards this content creation thing. I need to become a content creator so then I can know how to teach my customers how to be content creators so that they can then make money themselves. And it's a very like important, I think, cycle and steps. When it comes to creators and YouTubers very specifically, what do you think that YouTubers are doing wrong in their income strategies?
Not diversifying enough, or only relying on ad revenue from the platform, and not having a business behind it. Like that's the biggest thing, because in a heartbeat, your ad revenue could be turned off. And if that's your only source of income, guess what? You have to get a job again. So, if you're only relying on, in fact, I would just have the ad revenue that's generated be the icing on the cake. Don't rely on it at all. Don't let that be your primary source of revenue. I think that's foolish. Of course, it's important to diversify because we don't own these platforms. We are renting that space. That's why it's so important to grow your own email list and control the audience and diversify the audience. I've had my TikTok deleted 4 times, and this time I didn't get it back, so I just started another one. But I know how to grow it. But it's less painful now because I have grown all of my other social media profiles. Plus, it's happened 4 times in total, so I'm a little desensitized to it at this point.
Did you ever find out why you got your account deleted?
No, they have. I love TikTok. TikTok has changed my life, but I also really hate their lack of customer service, lack of communication, lack of transparency.
I get that.
They don't tell you. Yeah, they don't tell you, and there's nobody you can talk to.
How are you diversifying where your presence is? So I know that, again, you've talked about how you are also on YouTube, and then I know you also repurpose other platforms. What else are you doing to really control your audience and ultimately your income?
Yeah, so the 4 main platforms that I focus on are TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube from a distribution standpoint. And then I grow my email list, and I have funnels for my email list as well. And so I create typically 2 to 3 short form videos every day, 7 days a week. And I post those same videos across all 4 of those major platforms. And then depending on where I'm seeing the most engagement, I will add additional time to that platform and put additional emphasis on it. So for instance, the last year, I have seen the most growth, the most engagement, and the most revenue from Facebook, believe it or not. And so Facebook is currently my main platform because it's where I get the most ROI for my time on there. So it's where I spend the most amount of time. I post on Facebook 7 to 10 times a day, various forms of content. text-based content, image content, repost other people's content. I'm a machine on Facebook.
I can testify to that one. See all your stuff.
And so, but like if, it's been TikTok before. And there's been times where like I've posted, I think the most I ever did was, I think 32 videos in one day on TikTok. And a lot of those are like video responses to comments and stuff like that. But like if I'll get in like a really creative groove, I'll crank out 6, 7, 8 TikTok videos on the spot. Boom, 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 because I've built that muscle for it. Or Instagram, like if I see a big spike on Instagram, I'll pivot over to Instagram. And when there's YouTube growth, like I'm super active on the community tab. I'm spending more time in the comments and whatnot. So my attention shifts depending on where I'm seeing the most engagement. But it's been Facebook for a while.
I have to ask this question, and it's going to be, how much are you making on Facebook compared to what you're making on the other platforms?
By far the most. So Facebook is on a good month about $2,000 a month. It's typically, so they've changed their monetization quite a lot. I now have access to everything. So they switched their Reels bonus program quite a lot, but there's memberships, there's the Reels bonus program, there's engagement bonus for content that is not a reel, like regular text and image posts. There's ad stream or ad revenue on long form videos. Yeah, those are all the ways on Facebook. So between all of those, like about 2,000 a month. But again, like don't depend on that. That's just pocket money. That's just great money.
You have created a SaaS product, a software as a service based on AI and based on agency. And it's Syllabi, which is about helping you use AI so that you can create your content faster and schedule it out. Like and you can definitely go check it out. We'll have the link over in the show notes. How did that pivot happen? And what part is it playing in your future revenue?
It is already my highest source of revenue by far, 3 times higher than the agency. The idea came from that because when we started the agency, I always told my staff, and I always had this idea that we are a proven, repeatable system of growth that happens to currently be an agency. That is not the full level of what we are doing, the full vision of what we are doing. And I always had that idea, but I didn't quite have the idea for Syllabi at the time. I knew it would evolve into something else because that's also how my brain works. Like I stack, figure things out and then stack upon it. And so I wanted to take everything that an agency does and all of the reasons why a business owner would hire an agency in the first place and streamline the steps and disrupt the entire agency model. And so that's what Syllabi is I'm building the tool to put my agency out of business. That's the tool from my perspective. And sorry for agency owners out there. And we're probably, that's just a big, whatever craziness. But there's a lot of businesses out there that can't afford to pay thousands of dollars a month for an agency. And they can't afford to pay a staff member. They can't afford to outsource the work. And they don't have the time because they're a busy solopreneur or startup founder or whatever to do all of the content creation on a daily basis. And so we really broke it down to, business owners know they need to create content, but they don't know what topics to create. They don't know what to say on camera. They don't like being on camera or don't have the time to be on camera. They don't know how to do video editing. They don't have time to publish to every single social media platform out there. And they don't want to have a million logins for a bunch of tools to do all of that. So we streamlined that entire process in Syllabi.
I love that you have done that. Like, it's a really great tool. Someone who's been in the social media space for 15 years, like it does streamline things, make things a lot easier. And it's that idea very much of like, you need to understand and use AI to your advantage. It's never going to, I don't think it's going to replace humans too much, but it's definitely going to replace smaller things. And as we enter into this era of what I feel like social media marketing is a luxury good for a lot of small business owners, especially where it's like, I can't just have a social media manager. I have to have someone who does marketing, and social media is part of their job. It allows them to continue to like make really great content while also having that presence that they need without taking up a lot of their time. Because social media, like when you look at social, what the vast majority of business owners struggle with. It's not just they don't know what to create, but also they don't know what to do with it and they don't have time for it. Like they're busy doing their jobs. And so it really does streamline things and make it easier, especially if like you're handing that task off to like someone else in your office or something like that. So again, I know it's really smart. So because you've had such great success, I know that it is paired with what is also your most horrible money experience. Will you share that with us?
Yeah, we were chatting about this beforehand. So if you're an LLC owner, stop it. Switch to a corp. Um, I, I'm a marketer. I am a business owner, but I don't know what I don't know. And so I learned a very expensive lesson this past year that if you're an LLC business owner and you're wildly profitable, hopefully every business owner is profitable, right? Don't let that money just sit in your account because you have to pay taxes on that personally. So if you're a business owner or a partnership in an LLC, regardless if you take that money to yourself, pay yourself, you have to pay taxes on it. So we were very profitable in 2022 and those profits passed on to me. And so what happened here is that I went full time with Syllabi. And so the agency dipped because my attention to it wasn't as full on as it was because I was no longer full time generating leads and closing business and whatnot. Now I'm focusing on the new business. So what happened was the profits dipped quite a lot. And so much so that I couldn't just give myself a bonus to pay for the taxes. And so it got into a huge hole where I still have to pay those taxes. The company showed as profitable that year. I still have to pay them, but there's nothing to borrow against. So I had to pay out of pocket massive taxes on money that I didn't even get. And so that was a crazy, crazy burden. And now I'm going to be approached by every accountant known to man for sharing that. But
Our podcast is really geared towards traders. So unlike
okay.
because we talk about money, I'm always preaching about you got to have a good CPA or an accountant. I had a very similar issue that happened to me. So in 2022, I had an incredibly successful year. And I had a really big tax bill. It was ended up being, I think, something like $22,000 tax bill. And I was just like, holy crap. And my CPA is like, it's time to change you from an LLC to an S Corp. And I was like, okay, please, thank you. And so it's really interesting to be your own employee. Like I'm a W-2 employee for my own business, which is super weird. But it's gonna help me with my tax situation. I know that like we talk a lot about tax on the podcast, but like it's not that we don't want to support the country and the places that we live. So like there's almost feels like a lot of penalty when you're a business owner that like takes that extra from you that most normal like W-2 employees don't have to deal with. So I think it's something where it's like if you make less than $60,000, you should, or if you make more than $60,000, you should be an S corp. And don't quote me on that. Like, we're gonna have the CPA account on here as to a time, my favorite one, but it sucks. It sucks so bad.
Brutal.
Right? Why do our lessons always have to be expensive and emotional? It's one of the two. It's never anything else. It's the time of that we go over our income streams that you have going on for yourself and your business. So first things first, like you said, you already mentioned it, that your SaaS company makes 3 times more than your agency and stuff. How long have you been in business with your SaaS company? And I'd love a little bit of like context into like how you got there.
Yeah. So January 25th was 1 year since we launched publicly. We've formed the company January 1st. So just a little over 1 year in business. So super proud of that. As we were developing it, so there was various development before we actually even formed the company. So that was about 9 months. But even before that, I still had the loose idea that I wanted to do this. And so that was also a big reason of why I pivoted a lot of my content towards sharing AI websites and useful websites. Because when you build a brand on one topic, as soon as you throw your name specifically on something in that niche, it converts like crazy because you've built all this trust, rapport, and brand equity and whatnot. So I built up a huge audience online sharing useful tools, sharing useful AI websites, and then launched my own useful AI website. And I built it in public. Like the whole time I was doing like user interviews with people and I was teasing it every step of the way. And still continue to do that. I'm still very build in public. Every time we have a new like feature release that we're working on, or a Figma design that our designer has sent over, I'm like, everybody take a look at what we're working on. This is super cool. Like get ready for this. What questions do you have? Let me know what features you'd like to see. And like pull everybody in on that, because you're pulling them along the journey with you as well. They become big brand advocates. So that strategy worked really well, because like in typical like startup VC, funding, you have an idea, you put together the business plan, the pitch deck, the go-to-market strategy, and then you take it to an accelerator program, or you pitch VCs rigorously to fund it, to then figure out how to market it. And so I figured out how to market it before, and built the interest before we even built it, before we even put the money in. So I kind of just totally flipped it. And that worked out really, really well in hindsight. So like basically day one, we were profitable. Day one. And we've been profitable ever since. So as soon as I launched that thing, and we collected email, we got the landing page up, and we're like, get early access, 50% discounted, lowest ever. We gained like 15,000 email addresses by doing that FOMO of it. And then that's how we launched it. So we had a big email list, and then we started the beta with the email list of invite only. And then it's all about, and we just continued to scale it. And then I'm a big affiliate marketer. I've mentioned that as well. So we launched really early on with an affiliate program, and a very lucrative affiliate program. So we pay 30% recurring commission for life, no cap. We have an affiliate resources page with assets and whatnot. And so the affiliate revenue actually is about a third of the revenue of the business itself as well. And so then I can talk to the affiliates, because I am an affiliate. So, here's how you can make money online. Become an affiliate for Syllabi. It's free, automatic approval. We give you resources and assets. Here's example videos that you can crush it with. Run paid ads. I don't give a crap. Some companies don't like that. I don't care. Run ads for us. And you build up a marketing engine that way. And we've just continued to reinvest in the company and scale. And now we've raised a little bit of money as well. And I've got two great co-founders, and we're up to 18 people total on the team in 1 year, and it's been profitable and it's been awesome.
That's so inspiring and cool. And I love how, again, this idea of building something away from your name and something that you can get away from it. And I know that you're trying to separate yourself from other things and stuff like that, and you've pivoted into something really great, and I think it's so smart. So the second thing that you have for your revenue streams is your agency, which we've talked a great deal about. You also do brand sponsorships. So what do your brand sponsorships look like? I mean, I know it's an unusual thing for a CEO and person who's a SaaS company and all this kind of stuff, an agency person to say, but you have sponsorships. Talk about those.
Yeah, so I create content sharing useful websites, and they often perform very well. And so the company themselves will see those videos perform really well and will reach out and say, hey, let's do 3 more videos. Or other companies that are similar to the ones that I did, I promoted this company, it got 1 million views on TikTok or whatever. And they're like, let's do a video together. What are your brand deals, or what are your sponsored post rates or anything like that? Heck yeah. So I, have my brand deal packages up and whatnot, and I share their websites that I already was going to create content around anyway. And that's been a very lucrative stream of income, because I really figured out how to promote and build trust and brand equity in the AI tool space. And I have back-end funnels and whatnot to support the signups on that. ManyChat is an amazing hack. I know this is a YouTube podcast, but on Instagram, use ManyChat, please. I'm begging you to use ManyChat. So yeah, brand deals have been awesome consistently, and I don't even reach out. 99% of the brand deals that come in are inbound, because they just see my content and they want to be featured in the content.
And I also feel like it's important to mention, because we talked about, again, we go over a lot of stuff before we hop onto these things. Your brand sponsorship, you also include doing UGC work for other brands as well. I think you mentioned that you're creating content for Zapier right now, and it goes on their platform too, which is another really great way to have brand partnerships as well. So that's another thing that you've added into your revenue streams.
Mm-hmm.
You also have affiliate marketing. I'm guessing every single tool that you talk about, you're in an affiliate program for.
Not everyone, but a lot of them I am. I'm an affiliate for probably, I think, 60 or 70 different tools. Yeah. And a lot even don't have affiliate programs. Like it's all like, if I find a useful website that I think would be beneficial to my audience, that's what I most care about. It's all about just creating content that you think will help your audience. But yeah, I am an affiliate for like 60, 70 tools or something.
All right, your fifth stream of income that you have is platforms. This includes creator funds and AdSense as well, which you've talked again a great deal about. You also, your sixth stream though is that you have a course. What's your course about?
Affiliate marketing. So basically my whole funnel is, you enter your email for a list of my useful websites, and then, hey, want a course to show you exactly what I do to make money promoting these websites. It's a very like meta transparent course of like, okay, sign up for these websites as an affiliate, create content this way, track all of the links this way. Here's how to promote the content to get signups. Like basically the funnel that you're looking at, here's how to copy it for yourself. So that's what my course is about.
And your last income stream that we have that we talked about is you do some consulting as well. I'm guessing it's in just everything you do. Let me teach you what I know kind of a thing.
Yeah. Hourly consulting for marketing strategy, go-to-market strategy. I've been doing some like AI tool integration consulting calls recently because everybody now wants to know how they can integrate AI into their systems and into their businesses. I don't do that much consulting anymore. I've kind of pulled back from that because I see it as like trading time for dollars type thing. So consulting's great, and I can talk for hours about anything.
Might just be trying to make it like absurdly expensive, like $2,000 for 50 minutes. That's all you get.
I should, yeah. I'm charging $350 right now, but I should just make it like something absurd. It's like, all right, fine, I guess.
Let's give you a little bit more context here. Like Matt Koval, the guy that does he's the YouTube guy. He charges, I think, like almost $900,000 for his coaching calls. So
Nine
you
hundred
can do it.
thousand.
No, 900. I bet he
Oh,
likes bigger
I
numbers.
heard that wrong. I'm like, oh my god, what's this dude giving on the calls?
I know. Get him on the podcast.
What the meaning of life?
All right, Austin. What's your next money move?
Continuing to grow and expand syllabi. We have accomplished so much in this last year, and there's so much more to accomplish in that, and really streamline that out. Yeah, creating content that supports my vision for this tool, and going up market with that is the bigger move. So right now we're primarily focused on helping small businesses, but we're going to be going up market into larger businesses that have hundreds to thousands of agents that could use syllabi for all of their employees. And so bigger play that way.
I love that for you. Well, thank you so much for your time and for
Thank you.
sharing your incredibly awesome income path that you've created for yourself that's allowed you to do so many cool things. So we'll have the notes for everything that Austin is doing over in our show notes found at thefundedyoutuber.com. And until next week, bye. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar, a parent company of GigaStar Market, an SEC-registered funding portal, and member of FINRA. Learn more at gigastar.io. Music provided by APM Music, unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Neither GigaStar nor its affiliated companies provide legal, regulatory, financial, or tax advice. Any opinions expressed herein are those of the authors and are the informational purposes only. The information and opinions expressed herein are subject to change without notice and do not take into account the particular investments, objectives, financial situation, or needs of any specific investors.